Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Alto Call MAFS. I am your host, Tane, today talking about Love is Blind UK Season 2. Talking about the reunion episode. I did miss the wedding episodes last time, but I'll be going over it. And talking with me today is Brian from MAFS Virgin. Brian, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. It was a good reunion, so I'm in good spirits. So I'm ready to talk about this one.
I don't know how I feel. I'm not a fan of UK reunions. I'm spoiled by the American reunions where we're in your face, we're
Hmm.
aggressive, sometimes cross boundaries, and they kind of keep it clean. I don't feel like I know anything more. And it's just everyone's nice and we're thanking everyone for sharing. I mean, that's what they signed up for. So
Yeah,
it was
they
okay.
don't. The hosts don't hate anybody on the UK one. Like they don't. They could have come in and been like, okay, well, obviously we all hate on Jevan. We don't like Jay. And so like we can talk shit about him. They could have been mean to like Sophie on that one if they wanted to. They just
Yeah,
didn't. And in the US, Nick and Vanessa are like, no, you're a villain to the fans and you're a villain to us too, and we're gonna
yeah,
treat you as such.
yeah.
But I think that there's enough drama between like the actual castmates on the UK. Like they were ready to fight, and there were a number of times that Emma was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, let's stop. Let's all reel it back in."
They were bickering. They
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
going back there. We'll get back to this because I want to say that, Brian, we know nothing. This proved to us that our
Not a goddamn
predictions,
thing.
whatever, not a goddamn thing. We know nothing. They threw us for a loop, and I don't know what to say. I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. For Jevin to look like an angel, I don't know what to tell
Well,
you.
I don't. The only thing he got away with for me was the curtain on the photo booth. Everything else, I'm like, no, you still suck. I think that we know nothing in the same way that at least two of these women who were broken up with know nothing. They don't know why it happened. They can't tell you why it happened. Their bros went out for a hangout and all of a sudden are both dumped, and it's just like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't fault us for that. I fault some of these dudes who are just I, it seemed like almost across the board the men were at fault here for these
Yeah.
marriages not working out, and so I am ready to hate on men and topple the patriarchy today because we have it coming.
I agree. Okay, just a little housekeeping. Before I get into housekeeping, guys, yes, I sound a little nasal or maybe a lot nasal. It's the same thing. New listeners, my old listeners already know. Every time I go out of town, I come back, I get sick, and this is the cycle that we go on. No one has come to me to tell me what the phenomenon is because it waits for me to come home or it waits for me to be at the airport and it just starts, and that is what is going on. So sorry
You
about that.
sound fine.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to let you guys know, Brian and I were speaking about this. Love is Blind Brazil is coming back. Love is Blind France is coming back. Netflix is like, no days off for you guys because it's both going to premiere on September 10 and you're going to figure it out. And while you're still reeling from that, we're going to have Love is Blind USA season 9 come back in October. So basically, there are no days off and trying to figure out which one to cover because Love is Blind France, this is going to be its first season. I'm excited about that because, it's France. We're
Mm-hmm.
expecting all the z on there. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what that was, guys. It just came out of my mouth.
No, that's what they sound like.
And I mean, I'm excited because they also have black hosts. So I'm curious to see how, theirs is going to be. And also,
Mm-hmm.
Love is Blind Brazil is a little different because the previous season was second chances where it was people that had been married before, engaged before, but now it's a different kind of second chance because everyone's going to be 50 and up, I think is what it is. I've
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it. Brazil is my favorite. The mess is there, the
Oh, it's
horniness is
good.
there, the fights are there, the kookiness is there, but I don't know when you're 50 and up, are you mature? Like, are you just going to keep it clean or
Well, and I'll tell you, now that we're talking about it, one thing about Brazil that I've always liked so much is the frank discussion they have on race and colorism in Brazil.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
it and again, I don't know it's because I'm watching the dubbed one, if it's because of just the bad voice acting, but it sounds like a very frank conversation. It doesn't sound like we're getting stressed and we don't know how to use these words and whatever. It's like, well, let's talk about, our society and how it works. I
Yes.
like to hear that. I wonder if that's going to be different if it's people that are older who
Yeah.
are maybe have a different opinion on the way things work. I think if that was done in the US, you would get a different opinion on a whole lot of things
Yeah.
socially if it was people that were in their 50s and 60s compared to in their 20s.
Yes, and I don't do the voiceover dubbing, so you're absolutely right. It's a
No, you're
frank
better than me.
conversation. There are people. I say you're better. I cannot do the dubbing at all. Like I will read, put my glasses on, and read as much as I can. But they are always. I think there was that couple. He was adamant and very clear. Like I can only be with another black person. I've
Mhm.
been through this, and I need someone. And this that couple that they came out looking like brother and sister with the
Yep.
afro and the big hair and all
Yep.
that. Yes, they're very frank about that. So yes, that is something that we're curious about. So mulling over which one we're going to cover, might end up doing both, but not necessarily concurrently. It might be later on when we come up for air after that. But, be on the lookout for that. And in that vein, in case one of them is also going to be on Patreon, just letting you guys know that I will be running a special all month on Patreon, 30% off. If you're thinking about that, there is a tier that is just $3. So, yes, 30% off $3. So you might end up paying cents. So just go ahead. There are going to be some bonus episodes coming on. As you know, I'm covering the challenge this season. So you get that every Thursday. And, covering documentaries. Sister Wives is coming back. I cover that with Aid. And coming up soon is the documentary, The Unknown Number, also. That's also going to
Ooh.
be on Patreon. Crazy.
Ooh, it's good. It's so good.
Yeah, it
It's so
was
good.
so, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, that's gonna be coming out this week or next week. So basically there's a whole bunch of fun bonus episodes that you can find on Patreon. And I know things are kind of hard right now in the country, but the special is going to be running all month, so take advantage of it. And one more time to remind you that if you are signing up for Patreon through Apple, do not go through the app because they will charge you an extra fee. Make sure you use a desktop so that way there's no extra fee on top. I don't know why they're doing that, but
it's a mess.
just a hack
Yeah.
for that. Okay, like I mentioned, we didn't get to do the wedding episode. I was out of town and we did not miss much. Again, we do not know anything, but Brian, you're glad we missed the wedding episode?
Yeah, I fucking hate the winning episodes. They're trash. They're useless. Like, number one, first of all, my wife and I, we watch a lot of shows together. We didn't watch this one together because British accents. If I haven't mentioned before in the podcast, she cannot stand a British accent. So this was well off of her list. But whenever we watch any kind of a reality show, we will skip through any kind of a story, backstory, any of that. If we're watching The Voice, I don't want to see like your hard scrabble, youth outside of like a steel mill. Just sing the damn song and we'll see how you sing and we'll move on from there. So do a lot of fast forwarding. When we do the wedding episodes of this show, we fast forward basically 90% of the episode just to the
Mhm.
do they say I do or not. And if they do say I do, as soon as they say I do, great. We're fast forwarding again. We'll go to the next couple because it doesn't matter after that. If they
Yeah.
say no, then we'll watch whatever happens after that. But like, I don't need to see your happy wedding reception. Like, I bet it was great. Nothing ever happens at a wedding reception that's worth talking about unless something real crazy, and that's not going to happen on Netflix. And so, like, yeah, I didn't need the. I watched them. And I'm just like, okay. Plus, on this show, when you have the reunion right afterward, it's like
Mhm.
the wedding is useless.
Yes.
Who is actually going to be together at the reunion? That's a much better question than are they actually going to say yes or
Yes.
not
Mhm.
at the wedding day.
Yeah. I mean,
So fuck
I'll
these
tell
weddings, get them out of here. Just tell
the
me what
whole
happened when you guys come for the reunion.
Brian is like the whole point of the show. Fuck that. But
Yeah, no, get out of here.
I'm with you. This is the one reason why I did not watch. What is that show? Extreme Home Makeover. Too much.
Yeah,
It was too
yep,
much for me. Like we did this, and then it knocked down, and then the bird flew over my head, and then it pooped on my head, and I was like,
yeah,
okay,
no.
that's a lot.
Just watch Pimp My Ride. It's the same thing, but it's funny.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the couples, gonna tell you who said yes, who said no, and I will tell you Brian's predictions, not mine. All
Oh
Brian.
no,
I
I don't
have
want to revisit these
no
at all.
culpability in
Alone
this.
and by myself.
Okay, so the first couple was Barda and Jed, which they usually start happy, and I'm like, oh yeah, Brian is like, both are gonna say
Mm-hmm.
yes. We
Here we
get
go,
there,
Barda and Jed,
Barda is
dream
like,
couple.
but we've been like, oh, a golden couple, oh yeah. Barda is like, no, that she can only do this, that she's not saying they're gonna be done, but they need more time to be ready. And that's the thing, there's not a lot of people who have worked after saying no at the altar. I think the closest was maybe SK.
I was
SK
gonna say,
and
have there been
Raven.
any that have wound up getting married later on? I don't
No,
think there have been any of
there
those.
haven't been
No.
any, but SK and Raven tried, and then turned out he was cheating. And
Yeah.
then
Double life.
Ginia, what's her name? Gianni? I forget her name.
Oh, Giannina.
Giannina. Giannina
Yeah.
tried, and that was just a toxic off on, and that
Yeah.
didn't end up. But it's the same thing when you compare it to MAFS, where Aid says if you say no on decision day, it's not going to work afterwards. So
Yeah.
if you
It's
say
not a
no at
yes
the
to more
altar,
time.
yes, it's not going to, because also I think everyone says until we're ready, until I'm ready. You forget about the other person. How am I supposed to
Mm-hmm.
get over the humiliation at the altar? I can
Right.
never stand in a room. Never have I ever been dumped at the altar. You can never say no to that.
Can't say no.
You've given
Put
them
your
that
finger down
trauma.
now. Well, and not only that, but like, I had been planning. I had been planning for both of us to say yes. I had been
Yeah.
like thinking in my mind of what our next steps are going to be. How do I then shift gears back into I'm living my regular life again by myself probably. And dating this person who I was ready to get married to a week ago. Like that
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to deal with that, I don't think. And it's kind of like, humiliation is part of it. Obviously not. I would also not feel like I can trust my impression of how this person feels about things.
Mm.
I can't read you at all. Like I thought you were going to say yes and
Yeah.
you were going to say no. Like I have no idea what you're thinking now about anything.
Yeah. It's akin to whenever I see a couple and one person is like, I'm going to propose. And the person's like, I'm not ready for that. The fact that you're not on the
Mm-hmm.
same page there, maybe you're not meant to be together. So if you can't
No.
tell to your point and what they're going to say, then
I have the same thing with dudes that are like, oh, I hope she says yes. I'm like, you hope she says yes? Like I knew months before I proposed that she was ready to say yes. So there wasn't like and I think all my guy friends are that way. Like I never
yeah.
had a guy who's like, I'm gonna propose to her. She has no idea it's coming. Um, I don't know if she's gonna say yes or not. I hope. I'm like, well, stop. Like, don't do
If
this.
you're
Talk
hoping,
first.
let's
Right.
make sure it's I know
Let's
she's
figure
going to
this
say
out.
yes. Yeah, so that was sad. And she was just trying to make sure he was okay. But yeah, by the reunion, they hate each other. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we have Sarova and Cal. I did not see it for them. We're gonna talk about that. Brian said she was gonna say yes, he was gonna say no. These two kids said yes. When he said yes,
Sure
I
did.
was shooketh.
Mm-hmm.
But
Didn't see that coming.
I will tell you, even on the wedding day, still no chemistry. I'm like, are
No.
these just friends who like each other? Like it was just not there for
Mm-hmm.
me. Kieran and Megan, we both said they were gonna say yes. They both
Yeah.
say like Kieran is smitten, drenched, sauce, whatever, all the words. Like there was no
Yep.
way. So they both say yes. And then we have Ashley and Billy, and we said Ashley was going to say yes and Billy was going to say no. That's probably what Billy should have done, but they both say
Sure
I
is.
do. When Billy says yes, even Ashley is like, "You did, like, you for real? You're saying
I swear
yes?"
there was a shadow crossed her face when we were waiting for him to give his answer. When it was like the dramatic music and what's he
Yeah.
gonna say? Her face got dark for a second. And I'm like, oh, I only see that happen in like anime shit. That's not a real life thing. But her face got dark for a sec. So when he said yes, I was like, word? Okay. Like, if you say so, if you like it, I love it.
So yeah, so that was pretty much it for the wedding. If you're smart in the future, like Brian gave you the hack, just fast forward and see
Mhm.
what they say. Okay, so we go straight to the reunion, and they start with a cheeky photo booth opening. I thought that was a little funny, a little
It
clever,
was kind of fun.
because if you watched it, the whole Javon and Sophie guys, I still got messages about calling this girl Sandra. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Blame Brian too. He didn't
Well,
correct me.
hold on. I'm a guest here. I'm not gonna come into your house and insult how you season your food.
No, no. You can tell me, what are you using on this?
Well, next
Use
time I
the
will. Now that
adobo.
I know. And I told you, I was like, damn, did I miss somebody? Was there a whole I could fake it, I guess, but
You let me go on for a
I did.
whole episode.
You
My
said it a lot
God.
of times.
I did. But guys, I'm sorry. I did put out an apology right afterwards. I realized afterwards as I was re-listening to it, there was nothing I could do. Couldn't get
No,
Brian come re-record the whole thing all over again.
no.
So I
Can't
was
can't be funny twice.
I was over I was overworked, I was fatigued, and I didn't realize it. I am rested now. I know her name is Sophie. I'm so sorry, guys.
There you
So,
go.
anyway, so it's based on their, little fight at the photo booth. So I thought, like, yeah, that was nice. They all came in. Emma and Matt, the host and the hostess, married. For anyone who doesn't know, came in. You know, I fuck with a host that wears glasses. That was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pretty, cool. She's just like, listen, I can't see. Y'all want me
Yeah.
to read this? I'm wearing my glasses.
I need these. You don't want to be like Darcy from 90 Day Fiance borrowing Georgie's mom's readers to like look at a picture or whatever.
Oh my god, I need to catch up on that. I
Oh, it's a mess. It's a real mess.
I yeah, I'm behind on that. So they're
Yeah.
still in Bulgaria.
They're in Bulgaria
Okay.
still.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going as badly as you could imagine.
I mean, just trying to tell her to be subtle is weird because nothing about
Nothing.
her is subtle, and it's not even possible to attempt to be subtle. So
No.
there's
No.
that. Okay, I spot family members in the audience. We're back
Mhm.
to Love Is Blind UK reunion, guys, and they also announced it. I see Freddie in the audience. Freddie says that he's single. I
Mhm.
don't know when they filmed this, but the streets are saying that he's not single. So I don't know. I
Oh.
don't know what's
Well, good for him if
true
he's not.
and
Yeah, I don't
what's
know. This I'm trying to think of when they filmed this because it was obvious. I mean, they made a lot of references to Christmas and New Year's and all that, so it's got to be maybe 3 or 4, maybe springtime. They filmed this. Do you think
honestly. I couldn't gauge because yes, they mentioned so by Christmas that was 3 months.
that was 3 months?
So it's just when they actually filmed the reunion that but it's a year later. So September, well, that would be a little under, I don't know.
Yeah, it's confusing because they mentioned like we're heading into 2025. Like this is going to
Yeah,
be our start to 20. So I'm like, oh, this was fairly recent then. I don't know.
yeah. But then again, oh, I forget her name. I'm sorry. From season one, is pregnant and she's about
Oh,
what she
yeah.
is now. I don't know how far
Bobby
along
and I can't think of her name.
she
But yeah,
is.
she
Yeah,
seemed pretty far along.
exactly. So, and that's where she is now in real time based on her story. So
Okay.
I have no idea what the time, the
Huh.
audience, the time
This could have
period
happened
is
yesterday. I don't fucking know.
for this. Um, Demi was there from season one as well,
Mhm.
and I didn't think Kieran's hair could get any more 2000s, but this was, I don't like it.
Buddy.
I don't like it.
No.
It's not
No.
working.
I listen, I have been bald more than half my life at this point. I'm not one to talk about hair. But what I will say is that looked bad.
Yeah.
Um I he we talked they talked about him getting a glow up, getting the wife glow up. I'm assuming she likes it that way. Because like if she was like, I don't like it that way, he would change it right away. I'm certain. So I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you, but it looks busted.
It's giving me Judge Michael Wham days.
Oh, sure. I can get
It's
that.
just, I didn't see the fit because he was sitting down, but when they did
Hmm.
the wife glow up, I'm like, uh, I don't know if we could call it a glow up, and I don't know if she was taking credit for it, but
She was.
okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
when I saw the full fit, I was like, huh,
You know,
okay.
she's got him dressing like Harry Styles now.
Again, you like it, I love it. I'm not the one that
Sure.
has to sleep in bed with him, so.
You seem happy. I'm not fashionable. So you do you.
They let us know that it's a year later, and some of them have the what I call the UK Australian makeover. And I will tell you what that means. Not saying that that doesn't happen in the US, but usually the US, before they go on a reality show, they're pretty much what they're going to be. And then afterwards, the most drastic you're going to see is maybe like a dramatic weight loss, but not like
Hmm.
nothing major. But on UK, Australian, like, Married at First Sight Australia, Love is Blind, all that, right after they come out, you're gonna see me yell later, and you're gonna be like, "You were on the show. Who are you again? What is it?" The fillers are on there.
Oh yeah.
The nose jobs are done. The makeup is changed. Everything's changed. Again, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying like that is the trajectory that they usually go through. And
Hmm.
most noticeably, I'd say most different was Sarova and Barda. I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that the last time because Barda had lost like a significant amount of weight and she's already
Yep.
was into the makeup and all that. And I think she went a little overboard with the tanning.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bordering on blackface.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a lot. Someone should have just said, and people need to realize, like, also the cameras are gonna pick up things differently from what you see in the
Yep.
mirror. So she should have
Get
like
stage lights.
consulted somebody And that, and then Sorova also. It's
Hmm.
not a bad thing. They just, I'm just saying, looked like noticeably
Yeah,
different.
I'd say Cal looked a lot different too to me. I don't know if it was just his hair or what. Maybe because he looked sad.
He looked
I don't know.
gaunt.
He looked different.
Would you say he
Yes.
looked gaunt? That's what it was. Like it was
Yeah.
like
Remember
sunk in,
that?
and it was like hollow. I was like, what?
Yeah. Remember that time 50 Cent was supposed to be in like a movie about a cancer patient that never came out,
Yes,
I don't think. But there's that one picture
it
of
came
him at like
out, but
112.
nobody
Did it
went
come
to
out?
see it, and he was
Was it
mad
bad?
that nobody saw it after losing all that weight. He thought he
Yeah,
was
he was
gonna
like
get
105
the
pounds.
what's that
Uh,
actor who loses it?
he's
Christian
going for an
Bale,
Oscar.
the Christian
Oh,
Bale
yeah.
effect. Like I
Yeah.
lose
Just go
weight.
up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that with Cal. So yeah, so that was
Yeah.
all the pre everything before we dove right into it. And before we dive right into it, I will take a break and come right into Sarova and Cal. All right. We start with Sarova and Cal. And they're like, oh, you said yes at the altar. Let's see how married life has been in the past year. I'm like, oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
wrong. What did I know? Like, no chemistry and
Right.
everything. We see the home movies of their married life. I'm still saying, I'm glad they're together, but I still see no chemistry. But hey, whatever works for them. And then Matt
Hmm.
is like, so update us. How has your first year of married life been? And Sarova is like, what married life? I'm like,
Yep. I said, "What?" And then she said it again, and I was like, "Oh, we're doubling down."
The crowd gasps, actually.
Yes.
And
There was an audible gasp.
they focus on her mom looking not pleased at
Mm-mm.
all.
Mm-mm.
And Sarova just tells us that he walked away 3 months afterwards. Okay, so if he, sorry to do math again, if he walked away January, because she got the Christmas of a fairy tale, if he walked
Yep.
away January and that was January, December, November, that means they got married October. So that means it's not up to a year.
Yeah, it hasn't been a year yet.
Or
And I
either,
guess if they filmed this like let's say 2 weeks ago, then okay, that would make sense why people look different. Barda is now a citizen of Dubai, apparently. So like things have changed for a lot of people. So like, yeah, I could see. Yeah, it should be a full year, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. So we find out that it did not work out and that he walked away and she does not know what happened with
Mm-mm.
everything between them. So she said she was basically blindsided. She got her magical Christmas, and on the 2nd of January, he coldly told her that it was over,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave her 3 reasons. I was like, okay, at first I was like, oh, I thought you didn't know. Okay, now you know what it is. He said, one, they had no spark. Two, they are different people. And three, he's not an emotional and affectionate person. And it seems like he wanted that.
Yeah.
And they asked Cal, like, what is your take on this? He's like, nothing went wrong. We're just not right for each other. Like,
I just
I,
I've been faking it all along, and I decided, you know what? It's never gonna work out anyway. Let me go ahead and just pull the plug. I'm just like, what? Like this is so messed up because like I could see if it's like, oh, I have been faking all along. I've been lying. I never really had these feelings. Whatever. Like, no, no, no. She was great. Our
uh-huh.
marriage was working out just fine. Everything was good. We're just not meant to be. And so rather than like work on that, I just dumped her. Just like what? Wild.
Yeah, I just, I don't know if anything could have been done differently, to be
I
honest,
don't know.
because
Probably. Like I don't. Probably
when
something
she
could
said
have.
you coldly told me, there's no
Mm-hmm.
warm way to tell someone I don't like you, I don't feel a spark with you,
That's
because
true.
she has to question herself, like, so what was this magical Christmas that we just experienced? You were with my family embraced you, you were part of everything. So what,
Mm-hmm.
there's, it's not going to come out nice. It's either you're a fraud or I'm so dumb I didn't even see any signs. So
Yeah.
mm,
Well, I think I mean watching that like dumb video of them at Christmas time doing the push-ups and wearing the matching clothes. Like, oh, he was just lying. Like I
yeah.
don't. This is sending every signal of like I am as happy as can be. We are
Yeah.
the end of Love Actually in real life. Like we are British Love is how this looked. And so to go from that to a week later, I have decided we are done. Like, we've not had any fights about this. We haven't been like bickering back and forth and it finally went off a cliff. I've just decided we're done and you're not right for me and I'm out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is an insane person's behavior. I could never do something like that. Like, I can't imagine just like waking up being like, yeah, last night she thought everything was totally fine. Now all of a sudden her whole life is ruined.
There are demons among us. I mean,
Yeah,
we women have stories, so it's very
I'm certain.
possible. So he
I
says
got I
that.
got stories, but not like that.
So they ask him, like, Kyle, what changed? He says, they had disagreements during their honeymoon in October, and
October.
he just throws out, so yeah, when we went out, we had disagreements. Sorry for booking you a 5-star honeymoon off my own back. I'm like, bare minimum, as her husband. What
Right.
is the what? So that was
If you don't
just
want to
like
do it, don't do it.
tacky, for lack
Yeah.
of a better word. It's kind of like, I bought you this when we were dating. Like, why would you throw that back? Like, you did something
Yeah.
nice for her. Why is that a talking point at all?
It's you're in your feelings. You treated her like a wife when she was your wife, and now you're mad that she's not your wife.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I treated you like my wife. Well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you do when you're married.
He says they fell out because of intimacy and she wanted more. And she seems confused. She's like, "What are you saying?" She's like, "They
Yeah.
argued about love languages and how he's not affectionate." And she asked them, "Why did you marry me? Like, you knew
Hmm.
this was something that I really wanted, even though we could flip it both ways. Like, if he was not affectionate, why did she marry him if you know that's something that you need?" But my guess is like he promised that he was going to do better and he was going to
That's what
do
I'm
that.
thinking.
That's my, on that end. And she's like, "It's also rude for you to bring up the intimacy. I didn't want to bring it up." And he's like, "No, I meant kisses and cuddles," which makes me think there was issues with sex as well.
Something's going on.
Cause she
First of all,
panicked.
yeah. Well, kisses and cuddles, word to Carla. I appreciate that. I am I'm really confused about kind of all of this because as she said, you knew what I was like before you proposed. We talked about it in the pods. You lived with me and saw what I was like before you said I do. So it's not like I didn't flip it up on you and all of a sudden want affection and you
Mhm.
didn't know that about me. The red flag for me was when she asked him, "Why did you marry me?" And his answer was like, "Well, that's everything that I wanted in that moment." And
Mm,
I'm like, okay, so you did it selfishly. Like you did it not because you wanted to form a partnership with somebody, but it's because it's what you wanted in that moment. And
yeah.
when you didn't want it anymore, when you've decided, well, now this marriage that I've decided I want to get into is not what I want, now you want to bail and act like, well, yeah, I talked to you about it. I told you I was leaving and then I left. What's the problem? I Something's wrong with him. I think his brother knows something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him.
I mean, they all knew, but but going back, do you think I'm reaching when I think? Do you think it's actually like PDA, affection, holding hands, kisses, and cuddles, or do you think it's actually sex? Like I think.
I think it's probably both. I think it's both. And I think that he doesn't want to air out all the dirty laundry. And so he's like, I'm going to talk about the kisses and cuddles and that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
she knows the whole story. But this way I can talk about it without talking about it,
Yeah,
is
because
kind of
I
how I
feel
felt.
like once he said the intimacy thing, she freaked out. And
She
then
did.
afterwards, she was like, "That is so rude. Why would you even
Hmm.
bring that up and all that?" And not that I go about imagining the pod squad having sex, but I can't
I
imagine
do it.
Sarova. I can't imagine Sarova having sex. She just seems so proper that I just can see her going down and dirty. But
That's
I just
fair.
I don't know. I don't know. That's where I think like the issue was. It was maybe like I just finished watching season 9 of Married at First Sight where
Hmm.
Jamie is like they're not having enough sex and Beth is like, "How much sex do you want?" And I'm wondering if it's a
Hmm.
case of this, but I can never see Sarova having that conversation on that scale with her mother in the
I,
audience talking about that. So
yeah.
I'm just there's some subtext in between that back and forth that was going on for me.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
So Cal thanks Bali, who is Sorova's mother, for welcoming him in, and he's sorry for letting them down. Bali says it's been very heartbreaking watching her daughter go down that path, and he says, "I disagree." Respectfully. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. If you're
Right.
going to be remorseful, just
Just
take
let her
the
talk.
L.
Right. Just let her talk. Just let her cook for a minute. She's not being rude to you. She's
No,
not
she
cussing at you. Just let
wasn't.
her go.
And for all the way Sarova set up her mom
Mhm.
was just like, nah, oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong. She has been the
Yeah.
complete opposite and not what I expected. And then even after you broke her daughter's heart, she's still being graceful towards you. The least you could do is just sit down, take it, and just what's that guy's name on the US version? The DC version, who ended the
Oh.
wedding, like he just sat there and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And that
I
was
know what
it.
you're talking about. I can't think of his
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
what he should have done. But no, he was
No.
insistent on being right. He's trying to be right. He's saying all these things and saying, like, oh, like, I'm not good at communication. Even my brother saw it. His brother looked like he was about to tear up, though. I was just
His
like,
brother
oh, you
sounded
look
like he was
sad.
choking up when he was like, "Look, if it's not going to work with her, I don't think it's going to work with anybody ever. Like I think you're alone for the rest of your life, man. We have to confront that."
That's tough. Because they do,
Yeah.
yeah, they do move to his brother and they said, what do you think happened? And he says, well, he went in with good intentions. And like you said, if it didn't work with anyone else. And I'm like, that is a straight ticket to go to therapy because
Yeah.
what else are you looking for? Which also is a huge compliment to Sarova.
Mhm.
Just saying like,
Yeah.
she was the perfect person for him. And then Cal turned to her, Sarova and says that everything in the pods was real and you can't fake that. And are you trying to say it wasn't real? And I'm like, "Ooh, hold up. What are you trying to turn this on her? The
Yep.
audacity.
Yep. I'll tell you. I think I think part of this might be because his boy Billy was right next to him. And as we talk about in their segment, I think the two of them do gas each other up a little bit. And I think it might have been kind of like they probably had talked before this, where it's like, don't let her punk you, man. Don't let her come out here and say this is all your fault and you're going to take the blame for this. No, no, no. She was wrong. And it's hard for me to not have that play a role here because we'll talk about it, but I agree with
Yeah.
the ladies' theory on what happened with the breakup.
I agree, but these are two men we from the outside fully expected to say no.
Yeah, that's true.
And you
And they
went
should
ahead and
have.
said yes. Billy is he tried to tell us, like, well, you're trying to tell us that you're a sergeant and whatever the hell you are, but then do the right thing. And you say you're not going to be
Mm-hmm.
swayed. Why exactly did you say yes? I feel like we might as well just go to them. And Ashley and Billy, they're not together.
No,
You know, I'm so focused on
no.
Ashley's hair at this point, Brian. It's
It's
a
doing a
what's
lot
it
of
called?
things.
A bouffant or whatever it is, and I'm just in my head. I'm just like, pretty little baby,
I'll
because
say,
American Bandstand or something. I'm expecting her to just do the
no,
mashed potatoes.
it's like it's a messy beehive because like to me a beehive is like very neat and like very tidy. This had like tendrils that came out of it obviously on purpose. They had like taken sections to like curl and hang down. There was a lot happening. There was a whole lot going on.
It was a very old lady hairstyle. What? How did
Mm-hmm.
bouffant? Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
Bouffant.
you got it.
Okay.
A bouffant,
Yeah.
a beehive.
Yeah. It just aged her, and it was just like she's already so mommy like when
Yeah.
she was trying to be the mommy to mom and dad to the girls, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
you're free of this man. You're here to say, I know my worth. I know that this is not the hairstyle to make that
No,
point in.
no, you're not hitting
But
it.
that was just a distraction. She says that Billy promised to take care of her and he under delivered. He says that transitioning to reality is what he struggled the most with. And as time went by, he just felt himself disconnected. There are two similarities in this where I feel like Ashley and Sarova are kind of two proper ladies. Is that
Mm-hmm.
fair to say? Like, I'm not comparing, guys. I'm just trying to give an example visually. Ashley is no Emma. Is her name
Mm.
Emma before everyone comes for me?
Which one?
Megan. It's Megan.
Oh, Megan.
I was like, that's wrong.
I was like the host, Emma. I was getting ready to call you out.
No. Megan, where you can see Megan is like a free spirit and all that, and
Yeah,
it feels like Sarova and Ashley kind of give, proper and classy ladies and things like that. And it
yeah.
feels like these men were looking for something different. And this is my annoyance sometimes with men. you want something. Instead of going for what it is that you want, you go for something else, and then you fault the person for being who
Mhm.
they are when they never lied to you about who they are. You're the one who lied about it. So you can't come and say there was no spark when they totally gave you and showed you who they were. And how
Right.
does that change in less than 3 months? That's
Yeah.
insane.
There's the thing. I think that in at least Cal's case for sure, and maybe also Billy's, but definitely Cal's case, he was basically like, I'm going to force myself into a commitment to see if being forced into it will make me like stick with it, which is an
Yeah.
insane proposition and like not a fair thing to do to your partner at all. To be
Mm-hmm.
like I am planning on this all blowing up in my face, but like I'm gonna see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think that, geez, I think you're right. They were looking for something different. I think that both of them would have been happier with a Megan type, a Sophie type, a louder, more extroverted, kind of a showier person.
Yeah.
Um, Anu is also that way. I think that that is kind of the personality they were going after, and they got not only proper but like more reserved women. Where it's just like I'm not loud, I'm not boisterous, I'm not showy, and I don't know why that turned them off eventually. Other than like, well, I think that I'm supposed to be with somebody like this. And so, like, in the same way that I'm forcing myself into commitment to see if I can get it to stick, I will force myself into a commitment with the kind of woman I think I'm supposed to be married to and, like, see how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Not fair to them, but it seems like that's what they were doing.
Do you watch 90 Day Hunt for Love?
I've not watched Hunt for Love.
Okay. So there's a character on there, and she's just, I mean, she's very extra, very loud, very this. And then everyone just starts talking about her like, oh, she's not the kind of girl that you take home to mom. Oh, she's the kind of girl that you just have fun with. Just, characterizing somebody like, I don't know it's an archaic. I chalk it up to the patriarchy. Try to
Mm-hmm.
to box a woman in the little box in there, and to your point and everything that you just said, they feel like, okay, this is the kind of person that should be a wife. This is the kind of person that should be a mother. There's no picture of what a person should look like. Instead,
No.
do what it is that you want to do. Not try to fit some kind of visual or thing that you think it is, because someone else's emotions are in play here. Like the way they're operating, they keep saying, I was disconnected. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that.
Yep.
I. You were married to somebody else who was giving everything to you. So it's
Yeah.
so painful to see them feel so justified. Like, yes, they are doing the right thing by setting them free and letting them go, but this is a whole journey and time that they're giving into people that we're not feeling them. And it's so, so unfair. And
Yeah.
for Ashley, she says that again, Christmas. What is it about the holidays over there?
I'm telling you,
Christmas
Love
is
Actually. I'm
here.
telling you.
Her family pointed out that he's cold and he's definitely not into this. And I'm like, wow, that was so soon. And I think that's the other shock factor is that 3 months. Like they didn't even give it 6 months where it's like,
No.
I tried. Like and when they were feeling this, did you have a conversation? They both seemed blindsided. You never told them like, hey, I'm feeling this way, I'm still going to try my best because this is too soon, I know what we had in something. But
Yeah.
you just made a decision, had a conversation with yourself or your boy
There
who
you
you're
go.
not married to, and then made the call like, yeah, we're just going to call it quits. That's It's just so immature. And he's
It's
like,
very
what,
mature.
Billy's 35. So
Yeah. He looks 40,
um
but yeah, it's very immature.
so he says like they had a conversation, and he's like, was the conversation not heartbreaking? And I'm like, not this man trying to give himself props that, oh, the conversation was so heartbreaking and I was so sad. But she says, I
Mm-mm.
wish you said no. Like I don't know why you said yes. And
Mm-hmm.
Emma asked what we're all thinking, which is, why did you say yes when you had so much uncertainty? Because we heard that the whole time. And he says something about, oh, I came here to find love and I'll always take a chance on love every time. And I apologize for not being the man.
It was almost exactly what Cal said too at one point. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's what I wanted in the moment." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Y'all did collude,
Yeah.
like you did plan this out."
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's almost word for word the same thing. Like that's what I wanted in that moment, and it's like,
Ugh.
okay, I mean, yeah, that's not what you don't get married because what you want in the moment. It's like you think about what you're gonna want down the line too.
Yeah. if they were even contemplating getting back with either of them, this would give me the ick. Like a grown
Mhm.
man that cannot make their own choice and having conversations including on like language. At this point, it was semantics. Maybe
Yeah.
you didn't collude, but you talked about it like, oh, it's exactly the same way I feel. But
Mhm.
anyways, Ashley mentions that how he had to be deployed for 3 months, but she's not complaining about that. The audience
Mhm.
applauds, and that applause, I think, just triggered Billy into
He
what?
got mad.
And then he pipes in and was like, well, was I deployed? And I'm like, these men are so focused on being right. They're not focused on taking accountability and just again taking the L. They're still fighting their stupid ass points or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
it is. And then they start arguing and they start going back and forth about compromise. And Ashley was like, you never compromise anything. I mean, they say they sorted out their food shop thing. I don't know how true
Mhm.
that is,
I doubt
but
that.
he said that he never compromised, and he says, yes, I did, and it was just a mess. They were really going back and forth until Emma is like, all right, let's take
Yeah.
a breath.
Yeah. Is that also when Emma started crying too after their fight?
Yeah, it was after the whole segment that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
did. But like I said, Billy says he wants kudos, that it was the hardest breakup for him and that he subbed for 4 hours. I'm like, this is like what is it? You know when they do the film festivals and then they start bringing out the headlines? This had
Mhm.
15 minutes standing
the,
ovation.
the
This had 4
innovations.
minutes. Who was the person counting this ovation? Who was counting? Did he look at the clock and be like, I'm starting to sub now. It is
The
noon.
fuck.
Oh my god, 4 p.m. still sobbing.
I mean, frankly, listen, I'm an easy crier. I weep easily. I've never in my life cried for 4 hours, I don't think. Like I've been through some rough breakups where to the point where I'm like, I don't have an appetite for a couple of days and
Yeah.
I'm just like in a funk. I've never just wept for 4 hours. That's a long time to cry.
That's a migraine in the making.
I got
That's
a
a lot.
6-year-old. 4 hours is insane to cry. Like, what
Go
are we
take a
doing?
nap.
Right?
So Ashley says she feels blindsided, but Billy's saying like, "Oh, we had conversations about this," and this is where it comes up, and they share that Billy and Cal. I think Sorover is the one who says it, that Billy and Cal are best buddies, or maybe it was Ashley. I don't know, that they're best
One of
buddies,
the
and
two.
that they had each other's back. And Sorover and Ashley are like, it's just funny how our breakups were similar, and it seemed like it was from the same script. And coincidentally, coinkydink, they had just met up the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And Server is just like, so I don't know. I don't think that I kind of trust them. Cal is like, why do you need to trust us? It's over. Shut
Right? Shut up, man. Like, and frankly, just own it. Like, I did this one time.
up.
Like, me
Yeah.
and my guys got together before the summer, and it's like, man, like this could be a really fun summer. It's too bad we got girlfriends we don't really like that much. We should probably all just go ahead and break up. And then we did that. So like dudes will do this. That's not a crazy thing to say. So just be like, yes, we talked about it. We realized we both have kind of the same problems in our marriages.
Mm-hmm.
We did not agree that we're both going to go home and dump our girlfriends or dump our wives at the same time. But like we talked about it a lot that weekend because that's what
Yeah.
you do with your friends.
Yeah.
And I think we might have just both independently came to the same conclusion. That's a fine thing to say.
I think that's, I don't want to give them credit, but if I'm giving them credit, that is what happened on their end. But then for the women, it's kind of like what they envision is that they had a conversation, they did what they had to do, and then they called him, did you do it? Did you do it?
Mhm.
I did it. Are we free? Are we having a hot boy summer? Yeah.
Right? Got code words and everything.
And then
Jeez.
so Ashley says they ask her if she still believes in love. She says she believes in love and the experiment and just not in him, that she deserves a man who doesn't see her job as a bump in the road and who's proud of her job. He's like, I did not believe in your job. I am proud of you and all that. And at this point, I think because they've been going back and forth and been bickering, I just kind of lost interest. It was just more like, it's not going to work. These guys don't see the error of their ways. They feel justified in what they did. They feel
Yep.
like we took the right path. We did. They feel like they don't understand why anyone would see them as a villain. They feel like
No.
they did the noble thing by breaking it up and not making it 6 months, by making it 3 months, and not completely missing out the point that it was just 3 months also, and you didn't even try to
Yeah.
work it out or try to explain what it is, and not fair. So
Yeah. It's the lack of an effort to try to work it out. It's treating this And I think it might have been Sarova that pointed this out, where it's like you're treating this like it was like we broke up. We are married.
Yeah,
Like
that we're
we're
dating.
getting
Yeah.
divorced.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I think it's these guys kind of were treating this whole thing like, well, this is my girlfriend and I'm not really happy with our relationship right now. So I'll go ahead and break up. Like I tell people that all the time. Like, don't be in a relationship you're not happy. And if you're dating somebody and you guys are fighting all the time and you're not really happy, break
Hmm.
up. Just end it. That's different if you're married, though, and if you're married, you take the other person's feelings into consideration a lot more, and you do some work to try to figure out, can we make this
Can it
fit?
work?
You don't
Yeah.
just decide on your own to end it.
And that was Sorova's point point of pain or whatever it was, that he just made the decision by himself. Like she didn't even
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to say, okay, we could fix this, okay, we could do that. You just had already gone to the point. And I think the fact when you find out that someone doesn't want to work on something and it's just like a closed locked door, that's even more
Mm-hmm.
painful. It's different than if you even tried and then it didn't work out. This is more like, no, I don't want to, no thanks.
Yeah. Well,
And
and Cal went as far as to say, I don't need to consult you to break up with you. And I'm just like, man, shut up.
yeah, he said a lot
Like,
of
come on.
wow things in that way.
Ugh.
But yeah, so that was that. And I will take a break and come back to our ex golden couple, Barda and Jed. And we're back. So they asked Barda, do you stick by your decision? Do you regret it? She's like, I 100% stick by my decision. And he was
Mm-hmm.
someone that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. But then Jed showed her signs that they were not compatible with the type of husband that she wanted. So she's glad that she made that choice. They asked Jed his answer, like, what would you have said? Because we never found out if he would
She
have
ran
said
off.
yes or no. And he said, it would have been a yes, but I wasn't 100%.
It would have been a yes, but it should have been a no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Which,
keep
whatever. I don't care.
wondering that fight that they had, or maybe it was something else, like how big was it? I mean, it wasn't a fake out. We were thinking it was going to be a fake out,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Yep.
It can't be. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing because she wanted to pay and he told her specifically, I want to treat you, because he did mention, I'm glad they included that because I thought it was a thing where he just wanted to pay 100%. But he says we've gone out, she's paid, I've paid, but this in particular, I just wanted to treat her to something. And I was like, okay, let's not make it a deal. I'm telling you before we get there that I want to pay. And she just
Mm-hmm.
ignored that and did that. So in some way, it's not a big deal, but I think it's the bigger thing of him feeling like, okay, am I being heard? Am I being seen? Like,
Exactly.
I did tell you ahead of time. So you doing this, did you really forget? Or were you trying to test boundaries like,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal? Because one thing that's a big deal for someone may not be a big deal for the other, but he
Mm-hmm.
did do the right thing by telling her ahead of time.
Yeah.
So now, have there been other things? It just seemed like there was more, and this was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. Yeah. This was like the big spark. And I can understand like both sides of it, because I am a very routine oriented person. If we're at a restaurant and the bill comes, like I just get my wallet. It's what I do.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not even thinking about it. It's like robotic at that point. So I could see her being like, "Oh, I didn't even think about it. Like just second nature to get my wallet or whatever." I think the aftermath must have been the problem, because I think if she was just like, "Oh, didn't even think about it. Like I'm really sorry," I can't imagine being like, "No, fuck off. You should have been thinking that whole meal. He's paying for this." Like that seems like a weird thing to get hung up on. But this was obviously the spark, and then things just got worse with
Yeah.
the gym and the ring and the whole
Yeah.
nine.
Yeah.
3 weeks. This whole thing happened in 3 weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the wedding, they did try to give it a go, and she actually moved in. And then they threw in a line of she was driving my car. I'm like, that is
Mm-hmm.
so weird.
That's a weird thing to say.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
But they were still butting heads and arguing more than usual. And Barta said that she feels like she saw the red flags, but she kept on trying, and it was based on guilt because she left him at the altar. And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm.
not a good foundation, because if
Mm-mm.
you feel like you're I did this, so I have to suck it up, I have to take this, that's a
No.
weird, where do you go from there? Um, She said she was still wearing the ring and she regrets that she was still wearing the ring and had the ring on. And then they had an incident where he asked her to take it off. And she says it's because he had an ex that was in the room. That he even asked her to spin it, but he's saying that it was because of the show. You're not supposed to tell people if you're together and that. I'm not gonna lie, Jed looked a little guilty. It didn't
Jed's answer is
seem.
bullshit. Because listen, if it's for the show, and the show isn't supposed to know, people aren't supposed to see you guys out and together. Whether she has a ring on or not is not going to be the deal breaker here, pal. Like, if I see you guys out and about and you're acting like a married couple who doesn't have a ring on, I'm not going to go, oh, they must have broken up and just be friends.
Yeah,
Like, no, she has her ring off because we're at the gym. I take mine off when I go to the gym.
yeah,
Like, it's just a thing people do sometimes. But I think the double whammy here was like, take your ring off, turn it around is crazy because
yeah,
like you have the ring on still at that point, and like I don't know what workout they were doing, but you can't like pick up a bar if you have the ring part on the inside.
yeah,
Then for her to be like, oh, was it because there's people there who know you and you didn't want them to know that you were married because you're on the show, or was
yeah.
it because your ex was there? It's like, oh yeah, well she was there. And it's like, okay, well now that's a whole other thing.
Which he didn't tell her. He didn't tell
Didn't
her that
tell
his
her.
ex was there. She found out later, which
Nope.
is crazy because that's one thing. If you're anywhere, like if we're going somewhere where maybe my ex is going to be around, I'm going to give my husband a heads up. Like, why would he be
Yeah.
the last person to know that,
Right.
man? Then everybody else knows because if his friends are there, everybody else knows that the ex is there except you. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's
awful.
even more egregious than turn your ring around. I don't know. Turn your
That's
ring
awful.
around is
And
crazy.
I'll tell you, it's crazy. But I have in my past an ex girlfriend who was not the most balanced. We should probably say, and like she was one who was known to like run up on me on a date and be like, "Why are you here with my man?" All this and that. And this was like 2 years after our breakup.
Yeah.
So I can understand if Jed has one of those, being like, ugh, well, she's gonna be there. And if she sees that ring, she's gonna go crazy. It's gonna be a whole scene. Um, Number one, like go to a different gym if that's the case. Number two, let her do that and be like, Barta, like, you know, we're gonna be a team against this crazy lady here. And like, yes, she's gonna go nuts because we are so in love,
Yeah.
but like that's her problem. Instead of being like, let's make accommodations for my crazy ex.
Yeah.
I don't want her to get mad at me. It's a weird thing to say.
And she brought that up because she is
Yeah.
right. You picked to protect your ex and not me.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else, I don't care what this woman is going to do. We're a team. You tell me, like, give me the full scope of things. Like, oh, this woman might do X and X, but this is what it is. But I got your back, but just letting you know. And then let's come up with what we're going to do. But quite frankly, I'm being dramatic. It's not danger, but you put Barter in a situation where she can't react because she doesn't have all the facts. She doesn't even know that she's in a
Yep.
space with someone who might resent her for reasons,
Mm-hmm.
again, unknown. We don't know what their relationship is, Jed and his ex. So
Right.
this was just a weird thing. And, she made the right call. Who would
Yeah.
have thought?
No,
But
it was very
she
weird.
made the right call.
I'm happy that they were no longer together. I'm
Yeah.
happy that at the end she's like, "Yeah, I wish you all the best, far away from me." I'm
Yeah.
just like, "All right, that's a good dismount."
And this is just my projection. The way Jed is, I am man. I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like he would want to get his lick back for being dumped at the altar.
Oh yeah,
He just
yeah,
can't
for sure.
move on,
No,
from
for
that.
sure.
So, Jad says, oh, they've only dated for 3 weeks after the wedding, and then she left for Dubai, and she's been there ever since. And I'm like, what is the visa
Right.
accommodations for that? How are you able to just be there? Like, are you dating someone there? But they didn't ask her
None of
that.
my business.
But Jed says that he will pick her again. But then they're like, is there any hope for this? And she's like, no, they're never getting back
No,
together. She
no.
says, I'm indifferent. I wish him all the best far away from me. I'm like, oh, I
Mm,
did not see that coming. But the whole time with
bars.
everybody else, Javon has been giving looks. He's been like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
he's the Marshall of
He's got an expressive face.
of the season. Oh yeah, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Bobby and Jasmine. That was the name of the couple.
There you go, Jasmine. That was her name.
And Nicole and Benaya were
Mm-hmm. Traveling the world.
still rocking, still
Yeah.
there. All right. So next couple, we go to Javon. They're not a couple anymore, but Javon is here. But
Mm-mm.
you disagreed with me. But I feel like by the time we went through Kyle, went through Billy, and I just thought Javon looked like an angel right now. And I will say, I'm not a male apologist. I just kind of turned a little
Oh no.
for with Javon. Like he's still wrong in certain places. We're gonna talk about it, but there were just he was trying to make his point with Megan, and I don't. I think he said what he did was wrong. He took accountability. He know that he just thought like what she said was wrong, but I understand what Megan was saying. Megan was like, "I could be wrong. That's not my problem. That's what I saw." So
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
the
I'm saying.
the clarification that Megan gave nailed it for me. Where she was like, "I'm not going to say you're with them all night,
Yeah.
but the entire night that I was there and seeing you, you were with them. So
Yes.
like, who knows what you did after I left? I can't say. But the whole time that I was there, every time I saw you, you were all with them. So like, and that's probably true. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows how long she was there, but like, I don't think that she has any reason to lie about that or make any of that up. And it's not like, Kieran was like, I didn't see anything. He's like, no, 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 you were doing all that shit. So it seems like there's some truth to this.
I think what doesn't help Javon's case is like he just didn't feel like he wanted to be with her anyways. He knew that
No.
he was not going to be with her. So
Mm-hmm.
everything else that you're saying, doing, or whatever, it was not grain of salt because it didn't mean
Yeah.
anything. So Matt asked Katisha, do you still stand by your decision to pick Jevin over Demola? And a lot of word salad going on in this reunion. No one ever actually
Mm-hmm.
answers what they were asked. She's like, oh, if I didn't have a connection, I wouldn't have chosen him. And I feel like I articulated it quite well why I didn't pick Demola, but everyone is just so focused. I was like, did you though?
No.
Did you though? No, you
No, because the
didn't.
last thing we saw you say was, "Why shouldn't I be with the guy who's crazy about me? I deserve that." And then you didn't pick him.
And
You told
this,
him he's going to be your pick, and that you're not going to change your mind. Which, how did that not get brought up during the reunion at all? Why didn't
this
we see
is
that footage at all?
that is my problem with UK reunions. Everyone's trying
Yeah,
to keep everything all copacetic and all that. Like to me, roll the motherfucking tapes.
we should
What do
start
you
with
say
that.
to that?
That should be the first thing
Exactly.
that we do. Yeah.
Yeah. But she says
Ay.
it came down to how she felt and she stands by her decision. Emma asked how it would have played out with Demola. She asked Demola, like, oh, how do you think it would have played out if you guys got together? At this point, we know that Demola's like, I dodged a bullet. I don't even want none of
Mm-hmm.
this. So, but he's such a nice guy. And he also didn't answer the question. He's just like,
No,
I had strong feelings for her, so that wouldn't have changed, but I respect her decision. If that makes her happy, all that nice.
irrelevant.
We're American. Hate
Cuss
each
her out.
other.
Right? Throw a shoe or
So
something.
they ask if he's still single. He says yes, he's still single. Matt asks Javon if he was here for marriage, and he says yes, he was. And things didn't go well, but he still values Katisha as a person. Katisha says, sometimes it would have been nice to hear you say some of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, was it worse? You were engaged to someone who wasn't saying nice things to you? You were
I think
starved
so.
for
I
nice
think
things
so.
that should be flowing during the honeymoon stage.
Mm-hmm.
um that it would have been nice to hear some of these things face to face, and then his family makes a face and they're the only family who didn't get to talk. I'm like, why
Yeah.
didn't we
Nope.
get something from them?
Didn't say a word.
And Javin says, with the right person he would have been open. So basically she wasn't the
Oof.
right person. That was not nice.
Oof. That hurts.
So they talk about his conversation with Kieran. He's like, yeah, we had a conversation, and I mentioned not being in love. And he says he went to Kieran particularly because he could see that Kieran was further along and he was really into the process. And their conversation helped him because Kieran even said that he can't say yes unless he's in love and unless Megan is in love too. And for him, he was thinking, Javin, that it is that as long as there is potential, then maybe we could make it work. But he was pretty open that he wouldn't have said yes. I'm like, what are you saying? You said potential. You wouldn't have said yeah. Going
It
about it
doesn't. It
about.
doesn't make any sense. Just lie. Just say I was 100% ready to say yes. I was all in on Katisha. I mean, I don't know, man. Just no one's gonna check. We can't verify this. Just say whatever.
Well, speaking of roll the footage, they decide to play the chat between Javan and Sophie.
Oh,
And uh, they play it. They say, how do you feel? Katisha says like she was hurt. Jevin is like, oh, I'm a jokey guy, but even I admit that this was disrespectful. So this is what I mean compared to like maybe Cal and Billy or whatever. Jevin is at least saying, I take accountability, like this was disrespectful. I shouldn't have done
That's
that.
true.
Cal and Billy are trying to be like, well, I didn't feel it. Well, you were not doing this. Well, I wasn't. I'm just like, you can't do that after you hurt someone's feelings and try to justify that. But I don't think Javin came in defensive, still trash, still,
Yeah.
whatever it is that he is, but was enough to be admit that, that now if he said, oh, that conversation, I'm a jokey guy, like, I could come across as flirty. I was just talking, I would be like, but at least b- bars on the floor. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
But look at what we're working with. Like, there's
That's
not
true.
much. So that's
That's
all I'm.
true.
That's what I meant by to me compared to that. And especially because I wasn't expecting Cal and Billy. Like this was what it
Yeah.
almost felt like they hated them. And what did they
Yeah.
do that was so terrible that you didn't come here willing to take the L for breaking their hearts? Like that. That was.
And
I
listen,
didn't like
I don't I don't know these two guys. I don't know their reading and listening and viewing
that.
habits. It felt manosphere to me.
Yeah.
It felt like I don't know, not the words necessarily, but like the attitude about
The
it
attitude.
and kind of
Mm-hmm.
the defensiveness and sort of self-righteousness of I did what I wanted for me. Why do you have a problem with that? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so it affected you negatively, like that sucks. But I did what I
Move
wanted to do
on.
for me, and that's what I do. And it's just like it all felt kind of nasty to me. Just felt kind
Yes.
of gross.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'll give you that. Yeah, Jevin at least, he didn't seem malicious. you know,
Oh,
he just seemed like
contentious.
he
So, like,
was,
he came to fight. He was here to say his side, but it didn't
yeah,
seem like, oh, Katisha is like, he still said, like, nice things about her. Like, oh, and this
yeah,
and that, but, all
yeah.
that.
I
So,
mean, it probably would have gone differently if Sophie had played more into it. I think at the bar, I think that she was picking up what he was putting down, but
yeah.
not really steering into the skid.
Yeah.
And if she did and like pressed him a little bit and like tested him, I think we would have had a different reaction on the show.
I think Javin is smart. He just knew, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say no. I'm just going to plant seeds, just ride this out or whatever. And I wonder
Mm-hmm.
if his intention was for Katisha to actually break it off. Like, hey, it wasn't me.
Oh, probably.
It wasn't
I'm not
me.
the
Because
villain now. She misunderstood my totally normal behavior.
yeah.
That could be
So
it.
there's that.
Yeah.
So they asked Sophie if it felt like flirting. Again, no answer. She's like, in
Right.
reflection, I'm sorry to Katisha. It was just jokey. She said, from what they spoke about on their dates, which we didn't see. I don't think we saw
Right.
that Sophie and Javin had like a connection.
We didn't
That
see any
she
of it.
yeah, that she just didn't think that Katisha would be who he ended up with. And then they were shouting and they were arguing, and then they went into the photo booth. And I'm like, what could you possibly be shouting about? About could it be about Katisha not being the right person? Like that,
Well,
I
no,
don't
because
think
what
is
she
true.
what she said was that she got mad because Jay said, I didn't think you'd be the kind of person to leave early. Where like you had a connection and didn't play out, and then you left. I was surprised by that. I didn't think you were that kind of person. Which to me, not a wildly offensive thing to say, but when you're
Mhm.
like hammered and have been drinking for hours and probably like emotional because you've been talking to people that you had connections with them, whatever, she's probably just on tilt and was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" And then it just kind of blew up from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like a dumb drunk fight, basically.
Yeah, it just I don't think for an engaged man, nothing should ever be that serious. And which is the other
No.
thing. Kind of like, a friend of mine who she doesn't watch maps, but she listens to the
Hmm.
podcast, and she's just like, for her, she just gets the sense that a lot of, especially the new era maps, they just don't consider it a real marriage.
They don't.
That's just part of the problem, and I think that's where Javin is. Is like where other people are like, oh, I'm engaged, I met my soulmate. He's just like, it's nice, but
Hmm.
in his heart, in his mind, he didn't feel like an engaged man. So
Well, and he told us that in the pods. I mean, this is what she chose. Was the guy who was like, I'm not really committed to you or anything. I guess we can get married or whatever if you want.
I mean, what did I sign up for again? It wasn't Love Island. Oops.
The fuck? I thought I was on the circle.
So Katisha is still pissed, and she just turns to Sophie and is like, "Put yourself in my position. How would you feel if that was the case?" And all of that. Like he just was disrespectful, and Sophie's just really apologetic. Like I
Hmm.
watched it back, like that was the case. And you make a good point. I didn't think about the alcohol. It just changes everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Javin tells Katisha, like, listen, I apologize privately, but I do want to apologize publicly, that I'm sorry, for what I did and I shouldn't have done it. That was absolutely disrespectful. Good on him for that. I'm big on public, like, don't apologize to me in private. Like when they do that on Housewives and all of that, don't send me a text message. Put that text message,
Mm-mm.
print it out and put it on the screen of the
Yeah. I,
projector.
I need both. I need a private one so I know it's
Yes.
real. I
Yeah.
need a public one so all my friends can see it. Like I need both.
Um, and again, because it's the UK, Katisha apologizes to Sophie and is like, "Oh,
Hmm.
sorry, I'm sure I just came
Yeah.
at you." I'm like,
Stopped herself mid sentence to apologize.
that was light work. That was really nothing. And also, you're justified. But,
Right?
good on them. They're so sweet.
You knew that was my man, right? Like.
Katisha turns to Javin and was like, "Why didn't you mention the photo booth?" And he's just like, "I don't know, just mention that, I came, I told you I talked to this person, that person. Like, it just didn't seem like something to mention." And then they make this whole big deal about, there's a picture of the photo booth. And Kieran was like,
It's
"In
so
my
stupid.
defense, I was the only one adamant that there was a curtain and all that." After all that,
Why
there was
wouldn't there be
no
a
curtain.
curtain? It's a photo booth.
It's
Like I
the
assume
UK.
there's a curtain. It is the
Maybe in the
UK.
UK. So there was no curtain. And who was it that said, "I don't know why this matters"? I think it was Kieran. He was like, "I don't
I
know
think
why
it
this
was
is a big
Kieran.
deal, but
Yeah, none of this
apparently it is."
matters.
And Javin is so happy because, oh, yay, I got my 1 point. Doesn't change everything else that you did, sir.
Mm-mm,
There's no curtain.
mm-mm,
In the grand scheme of things,
mm-mm.
that's nothing. So Jevin says like he's not angry, about them saying there's a curtain or not or whatever. What he was angry about was just the way Megan worded it. But her saying that, "Oh, I was with this person all night." Megan is like, "Sorry you feel that way. I stand by what I
No,
said. I don't
I
change
said what I
anything.
said.
I'm not going to change it. That is who I saw. It is what it is." And also, it's a year later. So,
Yeah.
yeah, because I think
Who
Kieran was
cares
like, "Oh, we
anymore?
don't need to go back and forth." And then Jevin was trying to say, "No, I'm not like trying to bring it up. I'm just saying what I was mad at the time."
Yep.
Katisha says that, he didn't show her enough of that because they were talking about who he is as a person. And, watching it back, she just kind of questioned if he even liked her. And I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
and you picked this man and you were gonna stay? Because like
Sure did.
if the whole Sophie thing didn't happen, if the whole Megan thing didn't happen, how far would they both have taken it? How far would Katisha have taken it? How far would Jevin have taken it?
Oh,
That's a
God.
question I wonder.
I think she gets to the altar and says yes, and he says no. I think that's where we go with this.
I honestly think she wouldn't have said yes. I think she
I
would have
hope
said
not.
no. I think she would have been like a demi.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have
And
been.
just figured it out and be like, yeah, something's not right. So
I hope so for her.
So I got so happy for Anu because Anu is wanting some screen time so bad. So I'm glad that she she got it. And Emma and Matt have some fun because they do the "you're a liar, you're a liar," and she's taking it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on her page, there's a lot of it going on there. And if you heard Emma after she did the bit say "oi oi savaloy" and you wondered what the heck is that, it's just a British slang way of saying hi. So she was just saying hi to her.
There you go.
Because I'm sure someone was like, "What? Did something happen on my TV? What happened?" So Anu says she wishes that she kept her other connections open, but to be fair, Patrick saw her, Patrick heard her, and that they connected on spirituality, culture, and a lot of other things. And honestly, it takes a lot of guts to believe in something that people don't understand. So she doesn't regret anything. And I'm like, you know what? Good on you. That's
Yeah.
She
Good
didn't have to
attitude.
be nice to him, but good attitude on that. Matt says, like a lot of people were saying, that there was a missed opportunity with Demola, and Demola is quick to shut that shit down. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, she's my annoying little sister.
Yep.
Not even a friend. He said sister.
Yeah.
Don't get it
That's
twisted.
my homie. And I got so many wedding proposals in my DMs already. Like I'm just paging through them as it is.
Then they bring up Patrick's relationship status. If you guys remember, I think in the first batch, I shared that, it was alleged that Patrick was having a baby and she was pregnant by the time he came on the show. He did not show up, but he did send a statement that basically the summary was that he was single when he was on the show. He had a genuine intention to find a wife. and he chose to step away when he felt like it wasn't working out. 2025 has been life changing, and he is going to be focused on being a father. So it was true, not alleged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely happened.
So that's basically what it was for people on the side, and they saved the best for last, which was Kieran and Megan, because unfortunately when you're happy there's just really nothing
Nothing to say.
to
Just
say.
watch a video of you guys being happy.
And I don't know why they say, let's see how the first year of marriage has been, and then be like, are you guys still together? Because obviously the people that were not together were not sitting together. And also, why are they not sitting together?
Well, I mean, they did hit us with the okey doke though for Cal and Sorover, where it's like they're sitting together. We see a video of them having fun in the first year, and then hey, what married life?
That is
So
true.
like, yeah.
That is true. I'll take that over. I think the worst reveal was between Brazil and Mexico. Brazil had this thing where they had like a hammer where they had to like smash
Mm-hmm.
the mirror and figure. I was like, what
Yeah.
is this? And then Mexico had like a thing on the wall, like it's either red or green
Yeah.
or
It
oh,
like lights up.
please
Yeah.
don't do
Don't
that
need all that.
again.
Give me these damn
Ever,
games.
just keep them separated on the couch. And we're like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they start with their montage of the year, which we now know means nothing, but in their case, we could tell, like by their body language, that they're still together. Kieran answers when they asked him, are you guys still together? He says, can we take a moment to appreciate how hot my wife looks now? Everybody applauds. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the Kieran glow up, which we have talked about. It's not a glow up over here. And they ask, what do you love about being married to each other? She says that she's still obsessed with him. They have the best time as the camera keeps panning to Sophie.
Yeah. Over and over again, looking
It's been
sad.
it's been a year. It's not fair. Oh, I didn't mention. I mean, Sophie did talk about she's doing therapy and she's working
Yeah.
on herself. Everybody keeps telling her to go to therapy, and she's already doing that. And it has brought her close to her mom, who she had a rocky relationship with. So good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Sophie does have kind words for them because they do eventually just ask them. Because, remember when Megan was like saying, Sophie's not who you think she is and all that? They didn't address that. I think they should
No,
have
they
been
should
like,
have. If it was the U.S.,
Megan,
they would have.
yes, like, Megan, how do you feel? You said some choice words about Sophie, or something like, what made you say that? What did she do to you? Because at the time, I don't think they knew each other were dating Kieran. When they
No.
finally knew was when he gave the gift from Japan or something like
Yep.
that. So why did she feel like Sophie wasn't being herself? I was curious to know what that was, but
Yeah, I would have. It would have been cool to see it.
we didn't have that.
No.
So they play the clip of her saying that she is not looking for a. Why do I have a hammer here? That is wrong. She's not
Gamer.
looking for a gamer, okay? Wow. That she's not looking for a gamer as she finds them immature. And that's Megan. Now, my question, Brian, if you remember, did we see this or is this an unseen footage?
We did not see this.
Okay.
All we saw was her like react to him being a gamer, but
Mhm.
we didn't see her being like, that's a specific thing to go and be
Yeah.
like, okay, listen, no gamers and no accountants, please. Like it's a very specific. I gotta want somebody from this specific area. Um, it's similar to like, hey, no cabin crew. Jesus, please, not again.
Yes.
So yeah, we didn't see it, but it was fun to watch it back,
Yeah.
and cool on her for like not letting that disrupt the entire thing right off the bat, because it could have.
And that's what this experience is about. It's like, yes, you can come in to with your preferences, but hey, they might have this, but might not have that. And it's kind of like when people go wedding dress shopping, they always say, well, I'm not quoting the class, but it is part of what it is like you get a dress that you what you have in mind, and then you have a dress like you never had in mind, because once you put it on, you're like, oh, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know that this might work, and things like that.
Yep.
So yeah, she says she doesn't want a gamer, and he talks about being passionate about being video games, and he's like, yeah, it's just something I'm really passionate about, like I prefer it to watching Netflix. I'm like, ooh,
Oof.
they kept
Ooh.
it in though, Brian, they kept it
They
in.
did.
And
They
I'm
could have cut
like,
that out.
Emmer's like, you don't have to say that, know your audience.
Yeah, not in this room.
So Matt mentions to Kieran, like, how does it feel like you are the first man that she's ever loved? And I'm like, oh, that's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, like, he was willing to be open, coming into the experiment, and he really was like therapy. And he always says to his single mates that if they went through this, they would get it. But because they've never been through it, they don't get it. But there's just a rush of emotions and things that they go through. And he said it helped. And it helped that both of them went there open as well. So
Hmm.
they ask how they feel since they are the only successful ones. As they show everyone trying to sit so far apart from their partner on the couch. Like
Hmm.
literally Sorover is like,
Leaning on like the armrest.
oh my
God.
god, this is so bad.
Ugh.
So they say they plan to have like a love party in April for their wedding, so that this is a plan for their future for people who couldn't make their wedding and then just have that. I love that. A love party. I like that.
I like it.
Although I
I
think
like it.
maybe it should be February or something. Love party, but maybe
Probably.
that's too on the nose. They are planning to travel a lot, and then they do want a family, but they are waiting to have a family. And that
Hmm.
was it. And then Emma does the usual, which she did after every single couple. Thank you so much for being brave enough to share your story and to share with us. This was so nice. And then they kind of hint that there's a season three. I haven't heard
Yeah.
about a renewal, but they were like, bring on season three. So,
Yep.
I mean, why
Damn near
wouldn't it
announced
be
it. So
renewed?
yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. That was Love is Blind in a nutshell. Looks like it went by so quick.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, they gave us so many episodes in that first batch. It was
so,
wild.
so, did you have any last thoughts?
Not really. I had a good time. I'm gonna forget who almost all these people are basically right away. That's my problem with binging reality shows.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it better than the first season of UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we got the drama that I would like to get. The only one that we're really missing is again a love triangle where all three people wind up engaged and like on
Mm-hmm.
the show. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only missing piece. But this is a good season though.
Yeah. It was. It was. They got a good balance of the drama. And at least we got the romance, what we thought
Hmm.
was the romance. And then the reunion, we got a hodgepodge of everything
Yeah, yeah.
altogether. Okay. Well, Brian, thank you so much for going through the season with me. Always love
Thanks
having
for having
you
me on.
on. Can you share with people what you're up to and where they can find you?
Yep. So I am a co-host of MAFS Virgin. We are covering season 10 of MAFS right now. I'm trying to think of what we just saw go down. Season 10 is DC. I think officially now Brandon and Taylor have broken up over a manicure. I think this is the end of that. But boy, what an absolute mess of a season that is. So if you guys want to listen to that, you can also follow us on Instagram and Threads at MAFS Virgin, and then join our Facebook group, MAFS Virgin Fan Club. I do a lot of memes and like funny posts in there and stuff like that. So if you like me, go ahead and join over there.
Yeah, guys, you know where to find me. You will hear Brian again. We will be covering Welcome to Plathville, which we cover every 2 weeks. It's also called MAFS on Twitter, on Threads, on Blue Sky, and on Instagram. Please give me a 5-star rating. I'm trying to get to 200. I just need 3 more to get there. This is a shameless plea. Please go on
We
there.
all need it.
Please give me a 5-star rating. If you hate it, just walk away quietly and no one will talk about it. And stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys, thank you. Bye.